Hello, people. Hi. I want to talk of. If I want to talk of mixed race people dominating black people, let me just share my screen. So, I was talking to Jareen about this and other people, other black people about this, and the damaging effects that mixed race people are having on black empowerment, black self-esteem, and there's some black Africans and us trying to tell our own story and make sure that we're not bottom of the pile. And, you know, when I was in Pan African circles, when I was younger, black national circles, it was a given that the one drop rule, that you could have a grandma that was black and you look white, and then we were just supposed to accept you as black as long as you identified as black. But I've got to admit that the Pan African circles I was like with was the Jamaican guy who was like, I think it was Arawak. His mum was Arawak. I'm African, and then dad was African, obviously from Jamaica. And then the mixed race guy who had a white mum and a Nigerian father. And it was, I think it was quite sexist towards black women, but also it was anti-black, anti-African. Yeah. It was this idea that the offspring of the oppressors, the offspring of white folk and black folk, are somehow going to liberate us black Africans. And I see so often, it's just very much like the plantation, where black people who were just African were put into work on the fields, and masses child, i.e. the mixed race, were in the house being treated better, and were doing the talking for the black folk. Yeah, and I'm truly fed up of it. And I've come across, and there's a lot of mixed race people, these black and white people, like the Halle Berrys of these worlds and Obamas. A considerable amount of these people are not even mentally sane, yeah? And they seem to have a lot of resentment. What I've noticed is them trying, like, they seem to think it's perfectly all right to go around calling black people coconuts. But we all know what the definition of a coconut. What is a coconut? A coconut is someone that is brown on the outside and white on the inside. So if your mama is white like Halle Berry and your daddy is black like Halle Berry, you are the definition, the genetic definition of what a coconut is, because you're mixed with brown and white. Yeah, that is what it is. So it's ironic to hear that, hear mixed race people trying to be blacker than black, or trying to tell black people how to be black. And yeah, I truly had enough of it. I don't believe in the one drop rule. And I think it comes about respect. This idea that, you know, you didn't build no African civilization that was black. Yeah. And I see some of these mixed race people claiming things that they never created. Yeah. And trying to tell black people how to be black. And I'm just going to tell you people plain and simple. Yeah. Yeah. I don't need a white woman to put me on the planet like Halle Berry, to do the whole 9 months and carry me. I came out of my mother, who's a black woman, and my daddy is a black man, yeah? So, according to the scientists, they say black African people have been on the planet for 3 million years. I have no idea how long white folk have been on the planet, but I tell you what, it's not even a million, if it's even 500, even if it's even 500,000, yeah? They are very young genetically, yeah? Now, my parents left Africa in the 70s, so that means their forebearers were in Africa for 3-something million years. And then you think Johnny come lately, i.e. the white man, is going to come in and disturb our civilization, and I'm going to be like, owing everything to them. I'm like, I don't owe you nothing, and I don't owe my genetics to you either. And your little mixed race offspring, yeah? Because what mixed race people are is a buffer class. They are a buffer between black and white people. They are there to create disunity, yeah? They're not going to save black people. And, you know, I've spoken to black people that I actually respect. But I've noticed, especially with black men, I've noticed a considerable amount of black men, because you find a lot of them are just in love with Becky, Becky, Cameron, and Sharon have got children to Becky, Cameron, and Sharon, or they're mixed themselves. Like when you ask them the question of North Africa, the Halle Berrys of this world, people who have black and white parents, that is what happens in North Africa. The elites and the general populace of North Africa are mixed race people, what they would have called half caste back in the day, yeah? And black people are the minority in North Africa when they are actually the natives of Africa. And anybody who's mixed is like the offspring of the oppressor and the oppressed, yeah? But now they're subjugating black people and black Africans and telling black Africans that they are native to that land, which is pure fucking lie, yeah? So when I hear the black nationalists and the Pan-Africanists and the black betterments try to tell me that, ooh, Bob Marley's black, Obama's black, Halle Berry's black, because they identify black, I'm like, yeah, they're black, but they're not just black. They're just as black as they are white, yeah? And mixed race people have shown black people time and time again, and continue to show black people in North Africa that they are not there to make black people safe, to respect black people's human rights, to talk about what they brought to civilization. Instead, they are terrorizing black people and they're getting hung. That is what's going on in North Africa, yeah? To the point where you meet many North Africans who don't even realise, yeah, that black people are the indigenous inhabitants of North Africa, yeah? And all these light-skinned people you see are offsprings of the Visigoth Germans that invaded North Africa, the Vandals that invaded North Africa, the Turks that invaded North Africa, the Greeks and the Romans that invaded North Africa, etc. Yeah? And they've mixed with the local population and now created the buffer class. The stereotypical North African looks like Halle Berry because they are mixed origin. But you will still see the black North Africans, yeah? And I'm not here I think it's very unwise for people, black people, to think that mixed race people are going to save you. And I've noticed that anytime I ask people who claim to be about black and betterment, yeah, when you ask them, yeah, how come black people are being oppressed in North Africa by their mixed race children and grandchildren, they say nothing. They have so much fire for white people, yeah, and the Chinese and the white Arabs, but they don't want to talk about what's going on in North Africa. Instead, they will tell you about what's going on in South Africa, yeah? And I'm not there for that. Do you know what I mean? I'm not there for that. I'm not going to be a slave in my own land, yeah? I don't owe a white woman anything. She didn't put me on the planet. She didn't put my mum on the planet. She didn't put my dad on the planet. We don't owe you anything, yeah? Yeah? It's you mixed race people that owe your life to white people because you're half white, yeah? So don't come over here telling me how to be black when you're not even black, yeah? You're only half black. And you have such cognitive dissonance and you're so uncomfortable with the fact that you are part of the oppressed or the oppressor, yeah? You want to come and cause confusion and disunity in a black community. Well, I'm not there for that, yeah? And I would tell anybody, if you want to invite me on your show, know what I stand for, yeah? I do not stand for claiming that mixed race people are just black, yeah? I think it's nothing. To this day, you only have to look at North Africa and Brazil and all those places where they are mixed black and white population to see that mixed race people do not ride out and they do not stand with black people. When they get into power, they are more than happy to oppress black people. Yeah? You do not leave your salvation in the hands of other people. Yeah? And people who are arrogant enough to think that mixed race people with a white mother or a white father will not feel politically aligned with them and choose their black parent over their white parent, I think it's foolish and I think it's suicide. Yeah? So you do you and I'm gonna do me. But if your grandma's white, granddad's white, and you're mixed, if you're a quarter caste, you're quarter, whatever mix you may be. Don't tell me how to be black, because I'm just black, I'm blacker, yeah? And when you come on this platform and you roll with me, know what I stand for, yeah? And I do not look at the offspring of white and black people to save me as a black person, because I know that to this day, those are the very people that are still oppressing me, yeah? And oppressing us black Africans, to the point where us black Africans can't just walk into North Africa and feel comfortable, because we've got risk of being sold into slavery, lynched, etc. Yeah, so don't come and tell me that just because you got one white parent and one black parent that you're black. You ain't just black. You're also white. End of. I don't owe you anything. Laters. You do you, and I'm gonna do me.